I've sat here now for about like 2 to 3 hours looking at just my recording software to do this voiceover, just unsure where I want to start. I don't think that it's any surprise that it hasn't been my favorite year content-wise. I don't think that it's unfair to say that it's probably reflected in the quality of the content here on the channel and the videos, or perhaps maybe it's even a regular occurrence. Either way, sorry for that. But today I feel frustrated, angry even, disappointed for the people who've put a ton of work into passion projects, and disappointed for players who just wanted to relive some of the classic Call of Duty games. If you haven't seen anything just yet on social media, today was the sort of second strike from Activision to the air quote indie side of the COD community. The ones that go out of their way to provide gameplay experiences at no cost to the players, but instead have allowed them to relive some of the classic games that have ceased support for now years and have seen dwindling player counts for years on end. A few days ago, we talked about how Sm2 Sm2 was the upcoming project that was meant to be like COD Online, COD Mobile, and so on, whereas multi-game, multi-content all put into one game, now what would be on the Modern Warfare Remastered engine built from the original Modern Warfare 2, adding a ton to it, basically being a massive add-on to the original game, all in just one incredible place. That was shut down 5 days ago by a cease and desist letter sent to the dev team by Activision. Today, another fan-made client, X Labs, received the same fate, tweeting, "Today we've received a cease and desist letter on behalf of Activision Publishing in relation to the X Labs project. We are complying with this order and shutting down all operations permanently. Thank you all for the support over the years." And just like that, that's two of the big three down, and my hopes for the remaining Plutonium Project properties, the revivals of Black Ops 1 and 2, World at War, and Modern Warfare 3, that's pretty slim seeing how quickly they've done it. I'd imagine that that's something that in the next week or so, we probably hear even more bad news that that final client gets taken down. Now, the only, and I mean only reason that I could see this happening where there's like actually a viable reason that would make sense from both a player and like a business perspective is that I forget which client it was prior, but I know that there were one or two that hosted links to get the game for free via torrent. But to my knowledge, that's been adjusted. That's not something that was in the equation as of recently, but I guess it doesn't really seem to matter. Regardless, there's plenty still beyond even that potential that just frustrates me with all of this. But in the interest of time and keeping it more so focused, I want to focus on a few larger points: timing, security, and just a lack of interest in growth communally for this game and the sort of nostalgic community. Firstly, the timing. Now, this just really seems fishy to me. Really annoys me that this is all happening now. And like, that comes back to the whole perhaps valid reasons for the takedown. If people had the ability to torrent the game for free for years through X Labs, why now? Why right after SM2? Why does it seem like they're trying to send a message here that they're the sort of fun police with all this kind of stuff? That if you liked these classic Call of Duty games, you're yearning for the games of the past, doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to play them. Why does it feel like that? And here's the thing, if you enjoy Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, I really, genuinely, truly am happy for you. I really am. And I'm very glad that you're having a great gameplay experience if that's the case. But even with like going back to Modern Warfare 2019, so many people right off the rip were like, this is a massive departure from what COD has been. And up until that point, that really was like one of the most air quote tactical Call of Duty games that we had. But then you take a look at this year and it's a doubling and tripling down of this kind of stuff. I mean, it takes 3 to 5 business days to ADS your gun sometimes. Like, it's so much of the stuff that players had issue with in Modern Warfare 2019 and just more so in this game. So we're getting further and further away from those classic arcade features that made Call of Duty way back in the day. And I get it. Yes, that's a developmental choice that sure, you have every right as a developer, as a creative, to do what you want. I fully understand doing the exact same thing year over year can absolutely be something that just mentally is so incredibly infuriating. But at the same time, you have to recognize that give and take. If you've changed the formula too much for what people really enjoyed out of what you make, they might not like it and they may not buy it. And sure, that's a risk you absolutely take. But when we have these alternatives and everything like that, I don't think that it's a healthy ecosystem at all to have these self-supported developmental projects of reviving these old Call of Duty games. It's not a healthy ecosystem to be like, okay, well, people are liking that, let's shut it down. And that's what it feels like. It really does truly to me feel like with the reception of Warzone 2, Modern Warfare 2, the departure from that all the way from COD Next when it was first shown off. I mean, we didn't obviously get gameplay feel or anything like that from the campaign missions that we saw beforehand. It looked graphically like a good game and everything, but when players got hands-on at COD Next, then at the beta, and it started to become apparent this wasn't the same game that a lot of people really thought it would be, that's when the feedback started to come in, and we saw this sort of twist in reception where people were excited very much so back around this time last year to where they started to become skeptical, where they're like, okay, there's gonna be some changes made, right? Like, please? So when you have that kind of feedback, but then you have the alternative to a game that you loved from your past being repopulated and made to be better secure, as we'll talk about in a second, and then it gets shut down, that seems really fishy, right? Like that, I'm not crazy on that. I can't be. There's no way I'm the only one that looks at this from afar and like objectively and is like, the timing of this is really weird. But going into the next thing here that we just mentioned, security-wise, it does not make sense to me why they're doing this. These clients that we had, SM2 upcoming, not necessarily out now, X Labs, Plutonium, all this kind of stuff, they were the only ways that you could end up playing these games on PC in a relatively safe manner. Because for those that don't know, those games had so many security flaws on Steam and on the PC versions, to the point where it's still not recommended to play them base from Steam. And the craziest part to me is that when you take these things out of the equation like this, you take the safe ways and safe routes from a third-party client to be able to launch these, you take these out and you force players back to Steam if they wanted to play it on PC. Console's still kind of the same thing, honestly, but maybe to a lesser degree. I haven't jumped onto any of these games on console recently, but the thing that's crazy to me is you take out that added level of security that these launchers end up having, and the best part is that without that security, the prices for these games, if you don't have them on Steam already, are still insane. World at War, still $20, came out in 2008. Modern Warfare 2, still $20, came out in 2009. Black Ops 2010, still $40. Modern Warfare 3, still $40. Black Ops 2, still $60. We're getting into full price territory here. Ghost, still $60. Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, still all $60. And you're paying $60 then if you want any of the DLC on top of that even more for potentially security issues, for somebody to hack your stuff, to get into your genuine PC and system. These games are still full priced and they're not getting any support in terms of security measures. It was not, and once again, still is not a good idea to play these on PC because there's so many backdoors for malicious users through Steam and the versions here. You can have your PC ratted by playing those games and you're paying full price on a game that's 10 years old to do so. You are paying to potentially have your information and data stolen. Just think about that. Think of how asinine that is. Like, oh my God. It's just... if you're gonna do this, at least put in the work, put in the effort to end up making it something where these have the ability to be played, even if they are 10 years old, because there's definitely still an audience. It doesn't even have to be like, hey, make sure you give us dedicated servers, make a cross-play system for all of this so everybody can play. We're just asking for simple things like people's data to not be stolen. Like, it's so frustrating. And then just on top of that, like the lack of communal growth, this is a much smaller point by comparison, but like these things were community built, community funded, all that kind of stuff. There was not a single dollar, to my knowledge at least, maybe I am ignorant to the fact of some backdoor deals or something like that, where these people were not expecting any payment up front. There was no cash payout or anything like that, no subscriptions or anything that you had to do. You could just simply download this client and end up playing the game like you remember it, or somewhat close to how you remember it. Some of it had like additional content added in, but it's just, I don't understand limiting the fact of players that want to be creative. Black Ops 3 mod tools is the last time that we had any sort of first-party support for creatives in the Call of Duty franchise. 2015 on PC, again, though a version that is still security risk riddled, and then also no real player base behind it because there's no crossplay and it's an older game. 2015 was the last time we had any sort of communal growth actually fostered within the Call of Duty community. And that's just something that it feels way too controlling here. It feels way too, they need to have their hand in absolutely everything. I mean, I guess they have the right to do that with their IP, but it's just, how can you as a creative, as somebody that like looks at something like that, be like, oh yeah, this is the right move. I don't agree with that. And so again, coming back to it, like I'm just frustrated, angry, and again, disappointed that so many people did not get to have this experience where they could play some of the classic Call of Duty games in a safe manner. And it seems like the opportunities to do so are dwindling even more. Now, there is one hopium theory that there's sort of a Master Chief Collection style on the future horizon somewhere, because this did happen with Halo, where they ended up cutting all sort of third-party stuff and cease and desisting all that, and then we got the Halo Master Chief Collection. But like, I don't know, dude. I'm running out of hopium. I'm running out of stuff that's left in the tank to be positive, to be like, oh yeah, there's the big picture's gotta have something good, something positive, right? If there is a grand plan, can you show it, please? Because like, I'm running out of faith here, man. But I don't know. That's where I'm at, dude. It is a not fun time. Straight up not having a good time, if you know that meme. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So, let me know your thoughts down below. I guess this was a much more raw and not scripted or anything like that, or noted. I usually do like bullet point notes and stuff for videos, but just kind of went rambling here for this one. Hopefully you guys are cool with that. But anyways, that's what we're gonna call it. So let me know your thoughts down below. Subscribe if you're new, enjoy the channel, whatever. And I'll see you later. Take care. Peace.